was pretty short in terms of the review last week. Oh, last time. Um, so you guys had just got out of a river which you found inside a cave and made your way in behind the ritual chamber that Dodric had found. Um, Inside, you took no chances and Lefner immediately fired an eldritch blast at the closest cultist that was performing the ritual. However, it was seconds too late as the cultists managed to finish off the gateway spell that they were casting, and they summoned a fiery demonic hound from the portal. However, you did succeed in making sure that the portal would begin to close after it. Now, when the hellhound emerged, Dodric immediately tried to befriend it and set it upon its summoners, but it fell upon deaf ears as the cultist, while shouting in Infernal, sent the hound towards the group. And a brutal battle followed with you guys, and you just narrowly avoiding being incinerated by the hound's flame breath. But still, you all proved too much for the hound and its cultist masters, um, and defeated them. But one cultist did manage to escape the fray. Now you guys, having licked your wounds after a short rest, you're ready to make your next move. So the cultists had run, so where you originally found the chamber and that magical barrier, the cultists had fled back through there, and presumably up through the Letgo Manor and out into the town. Quickly, you've had a 2 hour, 2 hour short rest. I don't believe so. You went through each of the bodies that you had left behind, um, and I'm pretty sure you looted everything that was of value. Also, if you guys didn't notice, I certainly didn't notice, but do you know the exchange rate between the currencies? How much each piece is worth? So uh, it's I think 10 copper pieces to a silver piece, and 10 silver pieces to a gold piece. I thought it was 100, but it's just 10. Just while I was thinking of that. Sorry, just a thought. Um, so yeah, what are you guys gonna do? Ah, you guys looking at the map? I have it for combats. Not in the ritual chamber. Uh, all right. Roll investigation. He's looking for a room. The way he worded it was he's looking for a room that they may have used as a teleportation chamber. Not. Did you say rune or a room, Apples? Or one? Alright. Arcana then. Arcana check. Sorry, I heard room. 13. Uh, you have a feel around the room, but the only real magic that you're sort of feeling is the ritual circle from the center. You go up and you inspect this, but you don't feel or get any sort of gist that this was also used for teleportation or could be used for teleportation. It doesn't speak. It's not sentient. Because that's how this game works. I checked your characters. He's been hoarding it. All right, so you guys make your way um, out of the room. Now you making your way back to the surface with the intention of going back to town. All right. And what are you doing for sight at this point, Dodrick? You got a yeah, you got a light torch. Um, it's all right. It's fine. That you can see. Hey, I'm asking because you are going back through, traps and such. So you do need some sort of light source, but no, it only does the four. It can only light up four things. I think was what the spell was, and then it. That works. All right. There's a hole in the roof, and you fly upwards towards the sky. Um, just reversing gravity. All right, so you guys make your way back through the trapped areas. Uh, Having known where they are and what they do, you managed to successfully avoid them. Um, you make your way back up to the sort of winding cave and to the cave entrance to the Luca Manor. Um, all right, yeah. Um, Roll perception. You have a peek out, but you have no idea if anything's there. You know, as you having a look, you try and peek out, but one of the books is just in your way, and no matter where you try and look around, you just sort of can't get a good look out. With your torch, you hold it up against the book, and it begins to immediately smolder, but then you see like a blue sort of come out from the flame, and as you hold the flame there, these blue sparks are just flying up from the book, and as you remove the torch, the book and every other book that you try to burn is untouched. I don't know about cursed. But they're certainly protected. They're certainly protected. There is a fireplace nearby. Perhaps you have a thought to yourself, and perhaps the owner has had burnt books once before and is maybe protecting himself. or herself from a future loss. He definitely took the long way because if you remember, the room is enlarged, so he's walked out onto the roof, walked the long way, all the way to the roof, cross it, then all the way back down. You don't see anybody. The house is eerily quiet, apart from the enchanted brooms and such, which are still going around cleaning. Saying that, as you enter the house, you do notice that dusk is beginning to set upon the town. There's still maybe half an hour to an hour's worth of light before nightfall sets in. Um, it's most of the shops around town generally close once the sun begins to go down. You may be able to, if you rush, get to one as he is closing, but it wouldn't be very far from now before yeah, they have indeed shut for the day. All right. So on your map, the guardsman, I think it was Adric, the quartermaster, the fellow who marked on your map um, in the stockades. He did mark the general store, which was on the crossroads, the main crossroads in town. You could get to there within about 10 minutes if you hurry. All right. Cool. All right, you guys make your way there. As you come up, you run up to the door. Um, it is. Um, sorry, 2 seconds. I lost my page. My bad. Cool. So, as you get there, you see this sort of wooden sort of shack. It's a bit dilapidated, but it serves its purpose. You see like a couple of panels which are sort of peeling off of wooden um, weatherboards, sort of just peeling off the side of the house here and there. A couple of nails sort of coming out, and the paint that has been put on the building has sort of withered or been weathered away. After being there for so long. You do see a sign sort of hanging up the top, just below the second story window, and it just reads Morrick's General Store. And as you get up, you can actually see that there is a. Sorry, just making sure I've got this right. Yeah. So there's a small halfling male, and he's in the window, and he's just holding, and he's just immediately flipping the open to close sign. He's just flipping around the window, and as he does, he sort of sees you, and he pauses, and he's holding it, but he's waiting. Like, you coming in? Yeah, yeah. He goes, oh, okay. He goes, oh, very good. He sort of brushes it. He puts it back to open, and he runs up to the door, and he opens the door. He goes, greetings. It's been a bit of a slow day. I was just about to close. Welcome to my shop. And he shows you in, all four of you. So he sort of stops and looks at you and goes, yes, yes, yes. He's not sure if he's just dismissing you or agreeing with you, but he acknowledges it nonetheless. And as he lets everybody in, one comes in, and Doderick and Lefter, and then he stops and pauses at this half-naked half-orc, and he's like, oh, yes, you too. And he's just sort of looking as this half-orc just sort of slumps in. He goes, oh, good day. What can I do you for? What are you after? So, can I get you guys to roll, or somebody to roll investigation, or whoever's the lead, assuming that everybody's assisting for you guys to look around the store. So who wants to do the roll? Alright. Roll with advantage, because you're being assisted. Did you roll with advantage? $16. So have a look around, and you can just see little bits of odds and ends scattered around. It's like there is some basic clothing, commoner's clothes, tucked away in the corner. There is barrels and blankets, and there's a couple of flasks on a shelf, hammer, some jugs, just general oddities scattered around the place. As you do look around, though, there is a single maul, like just up on the shelf, like it's on its own little, like two claws sort of hold it, and you can see the one on the left is like such a massive claw just holding the huge weight from the head of the maul, and sitting up there with a please do not touch underneath. He goes, that was traded to me by a traveller a good while ago. Not too many people have been interested, but it's a maul of quaking. Yeah, it's pretty cool. No, this. Roll. 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 You're making it look dirtier. One. More plain. Alright. Roll disadvantage with advantage. Because you're being helped by one. No. So roll, not disadvantage, roll deception. I couldn't think of that for whatever. Deception with advantage. My bad. DM's a bit rusty. 17. He looks at it and goes, oh, no. I remember the salesman. He showed me how it works. That's definitely it. It was tested yesterday. It looks the same. No. He comes. He slaps you away. He goes, no, put that back. You stand. You guys are shady. You're weird. You stand over here where I can see you. And he's now just sort of eyeing you both. And he just sort of stands there and just looks like completely gobsmacked. He doesn't even know what he sees. No! Get down here! Get down! You're Spider-Man! Get down! No, it is magical. There is no doubt about it. Magical, not magical. If you want it, it's 150 gold pieces. Test my patience. I let you into my store afterwards. You just give me the shits now. 150 gold pieces. He gets up. He goes, yes, yes I can. And he gets up. He grabs his little step ladder, which turns out to be quite a large step ladder for his little halfling. And he pulls up to the side and he climbs up to the highest step. And he just sort of grabs it. And as he pulls it off, the heavy just catches it, goes thunk, and just pulls him down to the floor. But as it hits the floor, the whole shop just immediately begins to vibrate. And can I get... So as the shop has vibrated, like several things have just fallen off shelves and such. Yeah. Even if you were to cast Featherfall well, you're trying to cast Featherfall on the hammer as it's going down. Oh, well then it just hits the floor and falls. And he climbs back down. And he picks up the hammer and he goes, "Follow me." And he walks outside. He's just sort of dragging this maul. You can see he's a real little halfling. He just sort of struggles. Anyway, he goes outside. I presume you all follow. He goes out. He looks for Dodric. He gestures for you to come out. Okay, to get the story. He goes, "Watch." And he puts it onto his shoulder, and with a mighty heave, he throws it over, and it hits the ground hard, and you just hear this boom, and just a huge quake. The shop shakes. Several other places nearby, not too far away, but also give a good shake. He goes, see, you make earthquakes. No. No. He goes, this is what it is. No, it is real. It is magic. No. No. And he just starts to ignore you now, and he looks at the half orcs, and suddenly, you guys are just, he's disinterested with you. He's like, so, you want to get some clothes? We have some over here. And he grabs Chug and takes him over to the commoner's clothes. He takes them all with him, carries it around, puts it behind his counter inside his shop. So he gets you a couple of sets of commoners' clothes, Chuck. He goes, for these 10 silver pieces, 2 sets of clothes. And he goes, no, you come into my shop and you spout at me, tell me my magic hammer is not a hammer, like not magical. He goes, no, I don't listen to you anymore. Price is 5 silver, non-negotiable. Not negotiating anymore. You waste my time. I need to go home and have dinner. So you just buy 1 set of clothes? Yeah, cool. No, so if you just take 5 silver out of your inventory, you now have a set of commoner's clothes. It looks a little bit out of place on the half orc, but either way, it works. Yes. No, not here. And as he sort of says that, uh, you notice that there are, just you notice around the shop that there's a couple of things out of place, but it's deliberate. And you sort of notice that, uh, how can I explain this? That I various symbols and such around are encouraging you to come back with your thieves can't come back alone after hours. No, thieves. The language is thieves can't, and it's where he sees things written that would be otherwise oblivious to the normal person. Yeah, probably about 9, 10 o'clock. No, well and truly after the town has gone to bed and shut up. No, as you look around, this store is mostly for your typical person's odds and ends. There isn't anything apart from the mall being completely out of place from the shop. Everything else is jugs and locks and lamps, parchment paper. There's actually a couple of miner's picks sitting in the shop window. Some sacks, a weighing scale, shovel. There's a couple of signet rings, which are not the signet rings used by the cultists, just other various ones, typically of families around the town. Soap, vials, things that you would come to get if you were going to make other things, and you had requirements for those. Um, or if you wanted bags or chests or small odds and ends. Yeah, yeah. And he goes, oh, my name, my name's Lysander. Lysander Marks. Game of Thrones. um, nah, I haven't. um, can I, in 2 seconds, what's the requirements for light? Yeah, so you just you. So it is vocal. So can you please make a sleight of hand check as you try and do that? So he clearly hears you. You go blah, 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 blah. And he just what? And he just actually to do it properly, I have to do it against his perception, which he rolled a 9 plus whatever he has for his modifiers. So he's clearly seen you do this, and goes, "What? What? This is just a dagger with light. What? No, no." He goes, "It's made very nicely, yes, but I was going to offer you 5 silver for it, but because you tried to deceive me, I shall give you 3. It's a dagger. It's a dagger. The blacksmith sells daggers for 3 silver each. I'm giving you 3 silver for this one. Cool. Alright, remove the dagger and add 3 silver. Yeah. um, he sort of looks at it and goes, "Whoa!" He's looking at it and he's just marveling the craftsmanship of the hand crossbow, and he just sort of holds it up. He goes, "May I?" He wants to fire it. So he gets the crossbow and he immediately sort of looks down the barrel and points it at you. Just looking, twisting it around. He just fires it. It goes twang, and he hits the roof. He's like, "Ah, ah, I like this." He hands it back. He goes, "I'll give you 20 gold pieces for that one." Can you make Can you make persuasion with disadvantage because he is full of your shit, as well and truly onto it? He sort of listens to you and he goes, listen to the story. He goes, "I like the part where you shot the lady. You used this hand crossbow for that. You shot the fat lady with the hand crossbow." Oh, I give you 30 gold pieces. No, 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 30 gold. I'm a small shop. I don't have that much money. You know, I took a big gamble on this. Well, 30 gold pieces for this one. Well, I can take 30 gold pieces. Uh, hmm. I will, if you buy the mall, I will take 50 gold pieces off the price of the mall. 100 gold pieces. You give me the hand crossbow, and I give you the mall. Mm, he listens. Okay, okay, yes, yeah, I will do that. Yes. Um, I will say, because you've noticed various languages of thieves cant around the place, you have part in your head thinking of perhaps thievery is not a good idea. You can try, but you can see various parts, and generally to steal from thieves, or those who deal with thieves, um, generally is not met well. Look, I'm just saying, I'm just giving you the warnings that you would know. It's up to you. Yeah. He's a little halfling. got like 12. Yeah, yeah, sure. He sort of walks around from behind the counter, drags them all out. You just hear as it just bounces across the floorboards, and he hands it up to you with a little bit of a squeak, and he holds it up with 2 hands, heavy hand on the floor. You take it. It's incredibly heavy at one end. Like it would take a fair bit to pick it up and swing it, but if you were to connect, it would really hurt. Now you also have a bit of a sense into them all. Can you just roll Arcana? 18. Yes, yes. This you do feel magical energies going through this mall. Because you got the Arcana, you also know to properly attune yourself to the mall, you would need to spend an evening's rest with it, studying it. I think so. I think that's like all weapons if you're martial as well. You can, but you're assuming I'm using what's in the thing. So. Okay. Cool. All right. You have them all. Yeah. Yeah. Uh, he, he looks at him and goes, "Oh, uh, I'll give you 1 silver for those." Uh, He's just like, "Oh, okay. 1 silver, 5 copper." Do what you want. Sorry, I'm just trying to find you. Okay, so you two just start conversing about alcohol and nights out and drunken behaviors and crazy, friends just doing stuff. You talk for about 15 minutes. So it's, Juan and Lefner and Chug are just sort of looking around the store. They're a bit bored now, waiting for you to finish. But you do convey your message, and he conveys back. And he's in agreement. He says to you, "I'll be here after 10. Come back entrance." And you agree. So you come around the back. And yeah, you finish your stories with a big laugh, for like a big joke was told. Ah, yeah, this is good. Um, so yeah. Yeah, actually, might as well find Chug's character then. I don't know how to give you guys a homebrew item. And the funny thing was, you guys were reading. I didn't realize there was actually a Mall of Quaking. I thought, oh, yeah, this is a really good idea. I come up with it. And what you read is almost exactly what my mall can do, but mine's just a little bit smaller. Um, but yeah, is it? Ah, quite. Well, maybe that's. I didn't give mine any extra damage, so uh, yeah, yeah. Oh, it just pops up. That's really cool. Okay, there you go, Fuzzy. You have, or Chug. You now have a Mall of Minor Quaking. Um, and I'll read it out. So, actually, you guys must have been looking at my mall. That must have been it. I changed the name because you started reading it, because mine was actually called Mall of Quaking. Um, sorry, it shouldn't have the radiant damage, because I did take this from a previous one. So if you ignore the radiant damage, everything else is there. I'll adjust that. But yeah, so that's what I made. I thought it was too good to be true that you're reading something that I had done. So that's cool. So that means that anything that I do make in D&D Beyond, you guys being a part of my campaign can immediately see it. So that's pretty cool. So let me just edit that radiant damage out, if I can find out how to do that. Ah, yeah. Yeah, actually, you guys are completely oblivious to the fact that this place might have shady dealings. Okay. You actually walk past it on the way to the general store. So you backtrack a little bit and make your way. Oh, after saying see you to Morix, and he thanks you for your patronage. Yeah. Anyway, you see Morix, he closes the door, locks it, turns his little sign from open to close, and he rushes at the back. You head your way back to the stockade. Give me 2 seconds. Because I actually have this fellow's name and I want to get it right. Ander. So you walk into the stockades. It's pretty well lit at the moment. The fellow who you spoke to was again sitting at the counter at the back of the foyer room, and you walk up to you and you say hello, and Ander turns around and says, "Oh, hi, how you going? Good to see you. Haven't been arrested again." He's, what? He's just completely back. Uh, he starts motioning for the other guards, like, come here, guards, guards. These, they've brought a head, and he's just dismayed that you've brought in somebody's head in the middle of the guardhouse. Like, who does that? And anyway, anyway, 3 or 4 guards as they come running up, weapons drawn, looking at it. As you like, what's sit there? He's like, no, 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 we got him. And they just sort of stop and look, and then one of the guards, he just sort of just whispers. He says, "You wait there." He sheaths his weapon and he goes off into the back. The other 3 guards, and they're standing there, swords drawn, shield in the left hand, just standing at attention, just watching. Ander as well is just sort of looking. He's just like, whoa. He's a bit. He's not as formal as the others, and a bit more larrikin-like. And he's just sort of like, whoa, what have you done? Anyway, you guys standing there in an awkward silence, just staring at these stiff guards, just now watching exactly everything that you do. And they bring back another guardsman. This person's dressed. You can see that she has a lot more delicate on her armor. There's a lot more embroidery. There's a lot more detail. And she wears a bronzed helmet, which comes down and covers just the 2 sides of her face, with the center, nose and mouth visible. You can see that she's got some brown hair just sort of coming down almost to the eyes, but not quite. And the helmet's got a bit of the Roman sort of tuft across the top. She's got the decorated armor and such, which just looks like the general guard's uniform, but just there's been a lot more attention. And she comes down and says, "Hello? You there. Why have you brought this head?" And you turn and says, "Shut up. Why did you bring that head?" And she... Hmm? "I bring the head of who? Who are you talking about?" What? And she looks over at the board, looks back. She looks at this head, which is now decomposed, and it's very difficult to sort of see what it used to be. It's been your bag for a couple of days, but she does look over, and she walks over, and she says, "Please put the head on the floor, and step back, please." She just stands there and watches you completely unimpressed. Stand back. Yeah. She watches you. She goes down. She picks up the head and she studies it, looks around. And he goes, yes. All right, this is the head of Lux. Congratulations. In future, please do not bring the head of somebody directly into the stockades. Please signal a guard, and we will come to the body. Needless to say, good job. Thank you for bringing the head of him. Um, if you see Ander, we will have some payment for him. Payment for you guys. She stands and she just she looks. What do you mean? As you start to tell this story, you start to notice her stiffness and unwillingness to participate in conversation start to relax. And as you do regale your story of killing Lugson, how you were assaulted inside what sort of detail actually? Do you go into the full detail to say you broke into somebody's house and then murdered him in somebody's house? Or yeah, but just so I know sort of know, do you skip the parts where you've effectively broken the law? Like when Lefner blew up the house and when um, you guys broke into somebody's house to flee? Like, do you skip those parts? Anyway, so if you, alright, I'll regale what I think you guys are going to tell her. If you want to change that, stop me immediately. Otherwise, what I say, I'm going to assume is what you've told me. Okay, so you start to tell the story. I'm going to leave out the Lefner blowing up the house. I'm going to leave out the fact that you went into somebody's house and murdered uh, Lugson, but you did leave his body on the top floor. So um, you tell the story. You say that you were mugged by Lugson in the street, that you had to defend yourself, and that you were successful in enabling to kill him. After which you went to meet Bardid, who which that you had met previously, and he instructed you to go out and see him after your unfortunate happenings with the guardsmen previously inside the mine. Um, you say that you spend the night at Bardid's place, and you come in and you head from the note from what Lugson had. You head to the Luca Manor, to which you were greeted by two people who were very aggressive and attacked you on sight at the door when you refused to leave. Uh, you killed them and went inside to investigate for survivors. Found none, but did find a secret passage down into a mysterious cave, to which you. Hey, you tell about the carpet. All right. You say that you're almost killed by a carpet. I left that out. I just thought that would be a pride thing. A rug almost killed you because you're telling the story. um, you went down into the cave. You found some people locked up in cages. You set them free. You killed two more cultists that were down there, or who you believe to be cultists, and you stopped a ritual and killed a, a demon of hell. And so you happy with all that? Do the what? What? Yeah. Anyway, so you watch and see her demeanor. She sort of relaxes a little bit, and as you start to tell the story, she starts to listen a little bit more intently and becomes a lot more focused on you and less focused on those around her. However, towards the end of the story, she does sort of ridgen up a little bit, um, and she sort of nods. The other guardsmen are just sort of standing there, just a bit bewildered and just waiting for her reaction. And she says, "You four, please come with me." And she leads you, if you follow, she goes to lead you out towards the back. She goes, "No, we'll get to that. Right now, I want you to come up. We need to talk." Yeah. um, she just seems she just watches you guys and just whatever, and just walks out the back and expects you to follow. All right. So she leads you out back. You recognize part way because this is the way that you were led to the stockades and led back out. However, she does walk past the stockade dungeon and turns to the left and heads up a flight of stairs. The stairs are quite wide, about 6 to 8 foot, or 8 foot wide stone. You know, you could walk up and down without bumping into each other at the same time. As you go up, you realize that she's leading you guys into her office, and she does open a wooden door into a room, and inside you can see a lit fire, a large desk with a lot of paper and pen scrawled out amongst it, quite an elaborate seat that you presume she uses, and a couple of sofas and seats at the other side of the desk. She walks in, holds the door open, and says, "Please, please come in. Have a seat." um, no, it's more like a brown sort of plush. No, it is not that. Anyway, all four of you follow inside. She sort of looks at Chug and just like, mm. She just closes the door and she sits down in her seat and she sort of mentions to each other. Um, she goes, "Thank you for telling me that. We've been having a bit of trouble with the cultists around town. They have been here for quite some time now, um, and we've had disappearances happen within our guard, as well as a number of the townsfolk, and we're starting to get to crisis point where the town are starting to suspect where their fellow townspeople are going. We haven't been able to provide much of an answer, and in the space of a couple of days, you've just told me a lot more than what my own guard were capable of doing. What I would like to ask of you is that if you could please lead myself and two or three other of my fellow guardsmen, of which I will have handpicked uh, myself, if you could lead us to the Lutko Manor and show us where you engage these people and this hellhound, because I would like to conduct an investigation and I would like you present. Sure. Yep. So the check that would be insight if you want to see if she's telling the truth or not. Arcana is sort of magic. If you wanted to see if there's any sort of magic deception there. Okay. Uh, roll insight first. Is that with your modifier? Yep. So she seems very forthright to you. You don't feel at all that you're being misled. Yeah, sure. 17. You do feel a little bit of magic coming from Um, just various places around the room. Yes. I just want to see what sort of stuff that you can derive from an Arcana check. I want to know if you can learn whether you just sense magic or whether you can actually tell what that magic is. So sorry, give me a sec. Did you? Yeah, yeah. I like to sort of look it up and get a couple of other takes from it as well and see what other people are using it for. Okay, so because you rolled relatively high with your Arcana check, you do feel that the magical energies that you're feeling, they're put in place to suppress the noise from inside this room, so they cannot be heard from the outside. Okay. Yep. Okay. Go for it. So, is there any actions or anything that you need to do? Do you need to speak it? Do you need to how do you? All right. So, describe yourself doing this. How does your character do this action? I'll put you on the spot. All right. So, you just sit there. You compose yourself and just meditate a little bit, and open your eyes, and you become very focused. What are you detecting with this action? It can detect good or evil, or no, no. You have to. The way I read that or I listened to that was that it is a choice, not good and evil. It was good or evil. Ah, good and evil. Okay. All right. So, what are you trying to search for evil with this spell? Is that what you're? Okay. So you focus on her, and no, you get a good feeling from her. You do not feel that she is a threat or she means you harm, nor do you feel that she is going to do something awful. Yeah. She goes, oh, I'm so sorry. My name is Rebecca. Um, Rebecca Stoic. Hey, what'd you say? Age? Uh, she looks about 30. Um, and she says that I've recently taken over the town guard in the last couple of years. My father, he used to be the guard captain here. Um, he was unfortunately slain during the line of duty, and I was voted in to take his place. I sort of feel though it was a bit more of a sympathy vote, but we don't need to go into that. I'm trying to do the best I can with what I can. Um, and things are getting desperate. I would really like for you to show me what you have learnt. I really need to learn as much as I can in as short a period of time as I can. I need to know what to do. We perhaps yes. First, I really would like you to show me where we go. We can talk about recompense afterwards. For now, I want to see this. Oh, you seem to have held yourself just fine. Why are you nervous to go back down there again now? she's sort of like, ooh, um, here, and she motions to her drawers and she opens up. She pulls out a red vial. She goes, "Come here," and you walk forward and she tips out. Leans your head back and tips half of the vial into your into your gullet. You drink it, and regain 5 hit points. And she corks the rest of the vial and puts it back in the drawer. And as you do, the wound from the crossbow bolt just starts to heal up and close up. And she goes, "See, I mean, you no harm. We can talk about this later. For now, time is of the essence. I really need to go down and see what you have done." Allergic to healing. It was about 6:30 or so by the time you got to the shop. So right now, after all the talk and such, you're probably getting close to, excuse me, close to 8 o'clock. It would probably it would take you probably the better part of an hour to safely work your way around the traps and such to get down there. So right now, like you don't know about the shop, but you would think that given it took you an hour to go down there and to show Rebecca around and her guardsmen, that you've got enough time to go down there and see that and be back to see Bardid. I don't think you'd be cutting it close, but Dodric, you will know that you will be cutting it close if you're wanting to get back to the general store tonight. You can split up. You don't all have to go. Yeah, earthquakes in caves. You go with him? Alright. So you're all in agreement? You're going to show Rebecca down? Okay. So. Alright, make persuasion. Make persuasion. So your argument is you want your gold before you go down. So make persuasion with advantage. That's 21. Oh, you said 13. Oh, 13 and an 8. Okay, sorry. My bad. Uh, yeah, and she says, oh, "I suppose yes. Let's go down. We'll make haste. We'll get your payment, and we'll go." And she leads you back downstairs. The three guards are still standing with their swords drawn, and as she walks out, she goes, "No, no, no, put them away," and they sheath their swords. Uh, she mentions to Ando and said, "Ando, can you please get the bounty money for Luxon, please?" And he goes up and gets a sack, and he puts it aside, and he gets 300 gold pieces, but he counts out about 70 or so, and he puts them aside and then hands them to you. He says, "The Forest, you told me about Forest. He was part of the bounty. This is his share," and she hands you the rest of the money. He's still a person. He didn't ditch you. Can you make persuasion, please? No, that would be more likely a disadvantage. 22. He pauses for a second, says, alright, and Ander scoops the gold back in and hands it. Hands it to you guys. Uh, she goes, very good, and she motions, you three with me, we're walking. And they sort of get ready, tighten up, yes, yes ma'am. And who's taking the lead? What's your marching order? Or how are you going there? Yeah, you're walking. Yeah, but who's first? Like, are you letting the guards go first? Like, what's the order? Okay. Okay. So we've got Chug and one at the front, the Rebecca and the three guards, and then Lefter and Dodrick trailing at the back, walking almost single file. You make your way. Did you want to speak? And she sort of looks and pauses, gives you a look. I think of him fine. Why? What's wrong? No. No, no, no. You're talking nonsense. He's fine. He's a pleasant farmer out on the side. Let's go. And she completely dismisses you from this and just walks forward. um, no, no. You felt that she was composed. It wasn't that she was fearful. Actually, the insight check is what you should be doing. Can I get you to roll that just for game's sake? Sorry, just to do things properly. Yeah. The six? No, you didn't feel from her that she is threatened at all. Dismissive, yes. You could draw some suspicions from that, but from her body language and the way she spoke, you couldn't get much more from that. You don't know. Anyway, you make your way to the Luxon Manor, not Luxon, the Lutker Manor, um, without incident. The door's still wide open and such, and she walks into the foyer and she says, "You dispatched two people here. Where are their bodies?" It was under the stairs, actually. But anyway, you walk over, you gesture her over there, and she wanders over, and she goes, "You check them." And the two guards, they walk over. Sorry. She looks at the fire and there's just nothing. She's just very focused on these bodies. She goes, "You were there." And the two guys come over. They look, and she goes, "Yeah, it's Lenny, ma'am. This one's Lenny." Ah, shit. She says, "All right, take us to the next spot, please." Yes. She goes, "Yes, this is a. They're all members of the cult. We don't know what they're called as of yet, but as we have found in our guard, their members do wear these rings. They've infiltrated our town within the recent months. Their goals are unknown. After we found you guys in the cave, we went down and we explored the cave, and that investigation is still being undertaken. But yes, we do. At this current point now, I shouldn't be speaking about an active investigation, but we are in agreement that what your line of events are uh, in line with the most truth that we've uncovered. So I have no reason to suspect you at the moment. But yes, we are finding these signet rings um, around the place. And thank you for telling me this. This confirms our suspicions. We'll have our guard investigate the town and be on the lookout for those wearing these rings if they were to appear among us and hide in plain sight. Lenny? Uh, she lets out a big long sigh. Um, Lenny Churchins was a member of my guard. He has been missing, and it is disturbing for me to know that you put him down as a member of this cult. Uh, in past the previous events, I'm in line to agree that Lenny was a member of the cult and not a guardsman and slain in. You haven't slain a guardsman, is what I was trying to say. You've slain an evil person. That is what you would decipher from that. Rebecca continues, she's like, we have had suspicions on a couple of our guard members. Lenny was not at the height of those suspicions, but his name was mentioned. Um, she just shrugs it off. Why are you so upset about Bardid? He's actually no, no, he's no. Anyway, can you please show me to the whatever? Can you please show me to the next spot, please? And traps. All right, so you go into the cave where the hidden bookshelf is. As they start to walk from the stairs to the bookshelf, they just start to actually marvel on the inside of the place, and you see all the guardsmen just sort of looking up, like, whoa! It's nighttime now, and you can see the stars coming through the ceiling, and it's all sort of astral. And Rebecca's just like, no, ignore them, and she's gesturing to the guards. Come on, we need to get to this. And they're like, oh, yes, ma'am. And they just stiffen up and just follow her, and they Rebecca goes first down into the cave, and you guys follow with the guards. You get about halfway through, and Dodrick, you mentioned um, to Rebecca, hey, this area is trapped, and you point them out, and everybody slowly makes their way past. It takes about 15 minutes or so for everybody to move past the traps without setting them off. You get to the second spot, again, it takes about another 15 minutes for everybody to move through without stepping it while you all look out for each other's feet. You get down into that first chamber where you found all the cages in the river. And one, you point out and say, this is where we found the two captives. And you mention their name, Berein, Battlehammer, and Betha. And she says, oh, thank goodness, they got free. And you remind her of your story that you sent Forrest out with them. Hey? Yes. And she sort of looks over at Chug and then sort of uncomfortably shifts back. You can see that a lot of these people aren't used to being around a half orc, Chug, and your presence just really sets almost everybody. You make them so unsettled just around, even with your upright and militaristic background. Having trained as a paladin, and you still make everybody nervous, and even the guard captain. Um, hey, No, you're a paladin. You can't. You, yeah, well, you can do that. Anyway, you point out. You can see Rebecca does say her thanks for getting the two out. She asks where she might find them or where she might find Forrest. Um, you guys, you're unsure. You left Forrest go up there. You make mention of the two people that went into the river that you got rid of, and she does. The guard walk over there and they have a look. For about a few minutes, they sort of reach in, but the rapid flow of the water sort of prevents anybody from getting in and getting back out safely to have a good search. She concedes and says, "Can you please show me the last part of your story, please?" And one, you take Rebecca and the guards and everyone else follows, and you go into the ritual chamber again. Immediately, as you enter the main chamber, you can see that cultist, that last one that you slain, just on the floor on the left. You can see um, the scorched ground where the Hellhound was. Towards the back of the room, you can see that another cultist up there, which had his head and hands smashed into the wall. And at the entrance where you guys entered in from the rear, you can see the final cultist. And Rebecca sort of gestures to the guards and says, please check them." And they go and they check all. The first guard walks over. The first one starts rummaging through, kicks over the body to have a good look at his face. The second one heads up to the fellow who's dead up against the wall, and he pulls him back down. Again, searches him, and the third one goes and finds the last one. The second one, however, calls out and says, "Ma'am, it's Kane." And she goes, a massive sigh. She goes, "Please tell me," as the third one walks over to check the last one, "please tell me it's not another one of ours." He kicks over the body, has a look, and says, "No, ma'am, I don't know this person." She goes, "Well, at least there's a little bit of good news." She gestures, or she says, "These two people we have not seen. We believe them to be outsiders. The one up the back, though, yes, who, like Lenny, was another one of our guardsmen. But this one we suspected for a lot longer of joining the cult and being involved in bringing them into the town." No, these were listed as missing. They've had a period of absence. Lenny was a period of absence of about a week. Kane, he was a period of absence of about 2 weeks or so, 2.5 weeks. Um, I'd like to thank you for bringing me down here. We'll see to the bodies. The two that we don't know, we'll check with the rest of the town to see if they're known. If not, we'll just burn them. They don't deserve a proper burial. The two guards, we will be shaming them in front of the public. We want to say thank you, but in light of this, I'm not sure who I can trust these days. You four, as outsiders, present me with a unique opportunity to get a outsider's perspective on the events going round. I would like to temporarily offer you a position within the guard, and I would like you to be all investigators in finding out this cult for me. It will be paid work. There are other perks as well. You will get your own homestead, to which you can rest, so you don't need to go and stay at the inn, or, as you said, in Bardid's place. In return, I would like you to be investigating these disappearances and these murders and find out what the cults truly want with our town, and most important of all, how to get rid of them and make those responsible um, pay for their actions. You'll each be you'll each be paid for. There's you'll each be paid 5 gold a day. for working. There is, should you see the end, I'm willing to split the guard's coffers of about 500-600 gold pieces amongst you if you are able to rid the town of this cult. The manor. Can you roll persuasion, please? Oh, what a 26. Um, if she listens and goes, this house belongs to the Lutka family. If you can find out what has happened to the family, and I say this very cleanly and very deliberately, and make sure that their family line has either come to an unfortunate end, not by your hand. We deal justice here, not greed. But should the family line have ended and there is no more heir to this property, then yes, I will see that this property is put into your name. But as the guard captain, I am not doing so if one of their members is still alive. Yeah, yeah, and we have a nice homestead which will be able to sleep the four of you quite comfortably, available in town. It was in fact. She goes on to say, I have no problems in giving you this house, and I believe it will almost also be the first place of your investigation. It was Lenny's old place of residence. I would like you to go there and check it out. Not the mansion, the other property that she has to give you guys. Yeah, should you take... And she just sort of stares at you and she's like, what? She goes, it is on that side of town, yes. Alright. She asked, so are you accepting the role? She said, I need your formal acceptance of this role. And then we have a small amount of paperwork to fill out back at the office if you would accompany me, just so we can get it all officiated. And then that way I am within my powers to then give you. There'll also be a guardsman set of armor, a plate, no, not plate, was it leather armor, should you wish to have it. Very good. Uh, I would like daily updates if I can. By day, every second day, that would be fine. I need to know that you guys are indeed working and making progress. I would also like to know the progress that you're making should I need to coordinate my efforts to support you, and vice versa if I need your efforts to support myself. I think regular contact will be best. Well, my quarters are actually at the stockade. I reside there. You can come there anytime. Whoever is on the counter, which is actually manned 24/7, they will come and get me at whatever time that you see fit. Okay, so you guys all accept. Are you happy to go back with her to the stockades to sign all the paperwork and get any uniforms and such if you want? And she says, okay, we can catch up tomorrow, or if you would prefer. It doesn't have to be tonight. I would just, you guys, if you want to get going, I just thought you get it all done now while we're all awake. That way you don't have to worry about it. So, without any other objections, you guys will now lead Rebecca and the soldiers uh, back to the the stockades. Buddied. By now it's about 11:30. Uh, Buddy, you've got time to go and meet. Sorry, Dodrick, you got time to go and meet Buddy. So I'm expecting you're going to split from the group. Is that correct? Okay. So you'll split from the group and you'll head your way to Buddy's farmstead. You other three head your way back. Sign the declaration. Are you collecting from a leather armor uniform from the quartermaster that's there? I imagine you will be Chug. No, it's just uh, yeah, leather armor is light. Yeah, yeah, leather is light. So I haven't actually prepared for this part, so I'll actually create an item which is the uniform. I imagine it will just be leather armor, and I'll hand that out. Are you going to wear it as well, Lefter? I imagine you will too, Chug. Yeah, that's fine. You- yeah. Uh, Undercover detectives. Um, she says, no, we don't have any of that here at the stockade. However, if you go and see Thoradin, our town's blacksmith, let him know, actually show him this, and she hands out just a small coin, which is not used for currency, but it's just a token to say that you're, like a policeman's badge almost. But she hands one of those to each of you, and she says, if you need to show, you can. Yeah. She says, if you show this to Thoradin, he will give you the town discount for any armor or items that you wish to have smithed or wish to purchase from him. He will give you a good rate. Yeah, the guard uniform is only leather armor, and you, you get the idea from speaking to her that she has these commissioned from Thoradin and just keeps a small stock of them for the guards who come to work for the day. They'll grab a set, work, and maybe leave some behind. But she generally has a few spare, and she's got enough to sort of hand to you guys on a more permanent basis, considering the line of work that you'll be doing. Okay. Dodrick can come and. it, Thanks for the echo. All right. Who's got speakers? Yeah, I can hear myself. Now you're muted. Right. Well, while Dodric's doing his part, I'll say that you guys all leave the stockade. She gives you the key to the household to which you'll be staying. She does mark it on your map. It is not the same house that you exploded nor left the body there. Um, so you have the key. You leave the stockades. Uh, what are you doing for the rest of the night? Are you going to turn yourself in, wait for the morning, or what will you be doing? Correct. Yeah, at this time, the town is essentially dead. There's no people in the streets. As you walk around, there's some eerie crickets and such, but it's mostly quiet. So Chug and Lefner, are you going back as well? Cool. All right. So you three, you make your way back, and you will retire for the night. I will say, as you enter the property, it hasn't been used in a couple of weeks, for about a week or so. Everything's a little bit dusty. There's still dishes in the sink. There's a bit of food, which is obviously was intended to be used, but it has now sort of gone. It's on the way of sort of decomposing and going off. You would need to do a quick clean. Will get everything up to schmick, but at the moment the place does look lived in and it does look a bit messy. Um, as you enter the house, there is, as with most houses, there's quite a large open plan sort of living area with kitchen and such. To the right, there's two bedrooms and a bathroom. There is a staircase upstairs to which there is also a small bookshelf, um, and there are two more bedrooms upstairs. Sorry, I shouldn't say a small bookshelf, a small library, and there's two more bedrooms upstairs. So, are you going to clean up, or are you just going to leave it there, or? All right, so you two head off for the night. Chug cleans up, takes him about half an hour. Just mostly just throwing out stuff, and then retires for the night as well. Uh, Dodric, this leaves you with catching up with Bardine, and I'd like to have this conversation with just us. Uh, Now, you guys can either wait until the end, or if you want to head off, you probably can, because we probably won't be far away from finishing up after this. Yep. Well, this probably only take us 5 minutes. Alright. Cool. Hello. It's been a while since we've had a one-on-one. um, you make your way to Bardeed's place, and as you get there, uh, are you just walking straight up to the door? Are you sort of scoping around? The others have obviously retired for the night and have not followed you this time. Okay. So you mosey your way up to the front door. As you get about 6, 7 yards away from it, you see a light just appear, like just a lantern just appear at the window. Have a look in, and you walk up to the door. And as you get to the knock, the door just opens, and Bardeed's there, and he speaks very plainly. He goes, "Ah, thank you. You made your way here. I wasn't sure if you would." And he opens the door and invites you to come inside. Okay. So you go in. He sets the lantern down on the table. He closes the curtains and such to hide the light from leaving the house. And he says, um, I have an interesting job. I'm not sure, but I'm not sure if you know that I sort of have a bit of a unique position in town. Um, I used to work for a group of people which would pride themselves on assassinating those wicked. Uh, we, our organization is, uh, we don't feel bad for those who we take out. We don't ask questions if somebody needs to be removed, if they pose a threat to themselves, to their family, or if they're planning and plotting um, against those within the town, we remove them. I have a bit of a personality of dealing away with justice within Berein, and for that, a lot of people are a bit uneasy to get onto my bad side. In saying that, I have a contract for you that I would like you to do. I think that you show potential. I think, from what I've heard, you're a little bit reckless, but we could use a little bit of that right now with the going on, which what's happening in town. Would you be interested? There is no hard feelings should you decline, but if you do, there'll be no further work. Well, we've done a few. About a decade back, we had a guard captain um, who th- was very good on the public face, but privately he would torture those in the stockades. He was also known for raping women. Those who which he investigated, for instance, we caught him raping the wife of one of the prisoners which he had locked up. She did not deserve this, nor did her other victims, so we put him in the dirt. This, unfortunately, was the current guard captain's father. She does not know this. We do not wish for her to know her father of a monster, but that is one that we have done. We have also dispatched a wizard in town who was prying on children, sneaking into their rooms at night and doing awful things. He was a bit more tricky to get rid of, but we dealt with him just fine. We have also made disappear quite a few traders that would come to town to sell contraband and drugs of dependence to the town. I do not like that here. My organization does not like that either. So when they've been traveling, they just get forgotten. Big enough. I'm not at liberty to go into details of the organization at the moment. You are a new member, and we pride ourselves on the utmost of secrecy. At the moment, with you being a potential initiate, you're not privileged to that information just yet. I'm sorry, but you are going into this blind, but that is also a test of your dedication. I've lost my spot in my notes. Hold on. ah, his name is Treld Kingston. He's a male dwarf in town. He's about 310 years old. He's been in Berein for quite an exceptional amount of time, almost the majority of his life. He is a practicing warlock, although he does not show that on his public face. We have information to believe that he may be fostering as part of the uh, current town behaviour, if you understand my speaking. The yes, we have information that's credible to say that he is perhaps a leading officer in this. We would like you to dispatch him, and the requirements of doing so is that you must leave no evidence of foul play. He must, by all public eyes, see that he met an unfortunate end of his own doing. Sorry, you there? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. He's okay. Hmm. We have right. We have information that he is attempted to bribe and extort members of the guard to do the cult's bidding. For this, he must be stopped. He must not be allowed to go further. He is a tricky one. He's very difficult to corner and always on his guard. Should a direct approach be taken, he may easily spook and vanish, and that is not what we need. Uh, Now, should you complete your task, I would like you to place this marker, and he hands you it's a circular wooden marker, pretty plain to the eye, but you do notice that there is a couple of engravings on it which make it a bit unique. Um, to the suspecting person, they would just think that it's like a placemat or a wooden coaster for a drink. But to you, you can see it's got markings um, in Thieves' Cant that would indicate that something has undergone or is a position of interest for those who would understand Thieves' Cant. And so he hands you this marker and says, after the job is done, I would like you to place this marker um, in his house. Just put it near a window or something like that, so we can see if the task has been completed or not. Also, should you do this, I would have an opportunity to allow you to have something of a bit more of a exotic, um, I think an exotic sort of item, a bit magical, a bit special. And with that, he says, so you'll undertake this? I will. And he goes, hold out your hand. And he grabs a knife and he cuts across your hand. And he gets the knife into his other hand. He cuts across of his, and he shakes your hand. He goes, we are now bound in blood. Should you retreat from this task, I will come for you. The guild will come for you. And then he gets up and he shows you the door. He goes, thank you for meeting with me. And he opens it and you leave. Yeah. He goes, yes, we know that he is the town jeweler. You can find him in the markets most days. He appraises gems and sells gemstones. That's it. That's all that I have. This is much of a test of how resourceful you are, and also a test on how well you can produce results. Cool. And he beckons you out the door once more, and as you leave, he closes it. The lights go out. Uh, what do you do? Fucking pyro. You don't know where it is. You didn't go with them. Alright. Yeah, cool. So you make way to the stockade to try and meet up with everybody else. And who's like yawning and falling asleep because it's now about 12:30, quarter to 1, on the desk. You must be at the near end of your shift. He goes, oh, you just missed them. They left about, what's the time? He goes, maybe half hour ago. They've gone here, and he sort of points on the map again and shows you where it is. It's a place near the temple, and you head that way. Um, as you get there, the door's open. They have unlocked it, and they let you in. And so we'll join up with the rest of them now. James, did James go, to you? All right, cool. All right, well, we'll leave that for 2 weeks. Uh, Doderick, you can explain the conversation that you've had with Bardid, if you wish. Um, whenever. I know James raids on Wednesdays and Thursdays now, so he's hard to get. And Wednesdays I got squash as well. Yeah, look, I'll try. I won't promise, but yeah, I'll try and get it done. Actually, in preparation for today, because you had essentially an open plan for you to do a whole host of things, I prepared like bucket loads of stuff. So next week should hopefully be a bit easier on the preparation, because you're starting to tunnel back in and become a little bit more focused on the things to happen. So I'll try for Monday, but we'll see. I need to also have the time to create all the maps and stuff so we can do it within Roll20, because I'd like to get some combat going again. Who collected all the gold, by the way? Alright. You're not going to divvy it up amongst the group? Probably should. Cool. I had fun tonight. Tonight was actually really good to start to tie up things and get a bit more of a narrative going. You did? Rebecca? She probably wasn't far away. When you just come in and like, look, I've come to collect a bounty. Thud with the head. usually, usually after they know that you've gone for them. It's like, yeah, I'm going to take the bounty. Like, if you had said, yes, we're going to go after Luxon, we'll be back with his head, they'd probably be a little bit less sus than, four people we just left out of the stockades. Oh, they just come back with somebody. Thud. There you go. Trust me that it could have been anyone. Like, I've just got a random head. It's Luxon. There you go. Give me the money. I wanted to, like, with today, I've been thinking about it for ages. Like, how do I get you guys a little bit more, again, invested in the story, but also to try and get the story invested in you, and like a little bit more with the town. And I come up with the town guard, and then I thought, well, actually, if she's had people going missing and various things are going, like she would know about part of the cultists or know that there's stuff happening. So my motivation for her was then to, hey, there's this group of adventurers, perhaps that you guys could give her a hand. And then I thought, oh, place of like having a proper base, like a house and stuff, would be really really cool as well. So I just put it all together in a nice little basket and gave it to you guys, and you unwrapped it beautifully. It was great. I was. I know you guys weren't in there on the conversation, but I was so happy to finally reveal Bardeed's uh, nature to Bondi there, because he's like he's sus, he's wrecked, and then to be able to then put it there and just sort of see, was he right, was he not? Because it's been. And to be honest, I actually can't wait to get to the end of this adventure, because I want to be able to say, these were my influences, this is what I've based these characters off, because, yeah, it's really cool. Yeah, I got a bucket load of info that I... Cool. So is that your second one? Yeah, that mall, I was like, oh, what? I really like the list that you gave me. I didn't want to copy it one for one. I assume that you have the shopping list that I was looking at. Do you have? No. Okay. Now, when you said the value of a hand crossbow, it's like, ooh, are you looking at what I'm looking at? Ah, okay, cool. Well, I've got a spreadsheet which basically has everything there, and it's organized in shops too. So I don't want to give you guys the spreadsheet because I don't want you to expect the same stuff from every shop. But it's a good thing for me to just look off and say, hey, this, and this is there. It also allows a little bit more random sort of stuff. So if you want to say, I want to go to this shop, I want to find this, I get you to do an investigation check. And if you roll really well, it's there. If not, perhaps not. Perhaps it is. I just want to have a little bit more random, a little bit more, yeah, up and down with shops. Freaking poor Muzik, though. God, you guys gave him such a hard time. We want to go to the shop. We want to sell stuff. Now we want to steal everything that you've got. So. Yeah. So yeah, it'll be good. Um, yeah, there's just so you know, there's a few shops around town, not just the general store. That was just the only one that um, the quartermaster at the stockades marked on your map. So uh, again, don't feel that the information that you've been given is the only information that's out there. So, but yeah, I'm gonna have fun. I've got to now create a bucket load of organizations and try and detail what they are, because everything on that second hour was off the top of my head. So, including your entire conversation almost. Yeah, I was like, shit. When he said that, what have I done? I was like, fuck. What do I do? Yeah. I thought, this person, that was doing bad stuff. Then I had that thought, like, what if that is? No. That was cool. Um, I think you guys actually went through almost most of the stuff that I had down, actually. Oh, no. Um, the people who you have rescued is the only other part that's sort of left untied at the moment. So, hey, they're not lost. You rescued them, but you don't know what happened to them after Forrest took them back to town. Nor do you know what happened to Forrest. But yeah. Alright. Cool. That was fun. I enjoyed that. I always get real nervous about the NPC sort of missions, but they're starting to get a little bit easier, and it's getting a little bit easier to get into character and to keep it all going. Also, if you guys, November's coming up soon. I'll be doing BlizzCon again if you want to come down for that. So it's November 3rd and 4th. Hey, November 3rd and 4th. If you're big on Diablo, everyone's hyping up this BlizzCon to be a massive Diablo reveal. So it should be pretty cool. Otherwise, we'll just be watching the typical stuff and probably a lot of competition stuff. So a lot of Overwatch and a lot of Heroes of the Storm. Otherwise, just drinks and food. That day, actually, it's it's November 2nd, which will be November 3rd for us, which is BlizzCon essentially. So they'll be getting up on stage and saying, "Yeah, Diablo 3 on Switch is available now. Go get it!" And so it'll be pretty cool. Yeah, I'm expecting Diablo 2 remaster and Diablo 4. Like everyone has got their hopes so high on Diablo 4 right now, so it's going to be a pretty big letdown if that is not it. If they decide, hey, we're going to do another Diablo expansion, be sort of excited for it, but it really needs to be a massive. Uh, Diablo 3 is 7 years old though, don't you? It was about 10, but they were developing Diablo 3 for like 5 years before they, or even 4 years, I think, before they announced it, and they developed it for another 2 years. So it's probably getting close to the same point in the cycle. Plus, Diablo 3 is just, it's in an okay state, but it's in a hard place to go forward. Just with the way the numbers and the power and everything works on the game. Like they can reset it, add another 10 levels, but they're basically just reinventing the same game. I think it really needs to be redone. And I'm hoping for a slower, more Diablo 1-ish, Diablo 2-ish sort of pace. Bring more horror back into it. I reckon that'd be fun. It's all the same, I think. Hasn't changed too much. Diablo 2 is all the same as well. Just big square with stuff in the center. Each level was a big square with stuff all randomly put in the center. That's essentially what 3 is.